Hey Kinfolk, today we're talking about knives and how it's a really useful kit item. It adds a lot of layers and depth, but it's also very functional. And you guys know me pretty well at this point that I'm definitely a function over form kind of guy. And I'm going to highlight this sax here. I've had this sax for a couple of years now, and I've used it to cut down trees, make kindling. I hacked down a hickory log once just for kindling, just a whole log, and that was up in Bico. And a lot of times people just don't have logs, or a lot of people just don't have a knife to make kindling or to carve up things or to cut up meat. And usually they bring a very modern looking knife into a decorum setting and it kind of ruins it. So it's worth the investment to get a nice knife. This one I got from Grouchy Mongol Forge, and it's just a tough knife. I've been cutting down trees with it, making kindling, taking limbs down, and it's just a really helpful, very nice knife. And it's seen better days, but it just looks really good after all that weathering. And I'm not even good at sharpening it, but it just keeps a nice edge, and it's just tough. In Damarong last spring, I made this baton out of a dead standing oak, and it's just a tough thing. And I carved it out with that knife. And during game, I was doing that, and it just added a whole nice level of immersion to life that was going on at the LARP at the time. And I can still, even after cutting down that tree, I can still cut kindling out of this log here. And this is birch. That's a hardwood. And I can still make kindling out of it. So it's a really good knife. I think I paid 120 bucks, and I think that was a friend price, but hit him up, Grouchy Mongol Forge, and he's definitely worth it. So the second knife review is the Fang. So I got a little neck knife here, and you know, it's a nice little thing that I can carry on me. It's not going to weigh it out all that much, and it's not going to really come out of my pouch all that easy. And we're about to do a test on this bad boy where I'm going to make kindling and see, and even some feather sticks, just to see how tough this little knife is. So here we go. That is a sharp knife. Now, I might even make a cup with this just to see how tough this this little knife is. Tempered Raven. Check them out. And that's just a broke right there. Yeah, that's not too good. I'm not too happy about that. Well, let's see how well it'll cut. A little bit of work. The blade's keeping its edge though. It's just that tip was too brittle and it snapped right off. That is really sad. Technical issues abound with this project. My lavalier microphone, my little lapel microphone, fell down into my shirt and the audio was just unusable. So I'm going to do a little bit of ADR here, some post-production narration, to let you know what's going on. Now I'm using the back of the blade here to throw sparks in hopes to use it as a fire striker in a pinch. So say if I couldn't find my fire striker, it's in the middle of the night, it's dark, I'm not going to be able to find it. I know where my neck knife is. I can pull that and try and use it. But as you can see, it's just not throwing any sparks. In fact, I think it's actually ruining my flint, and it's just making it duller. So it's definitely not an amateur error, although I am pretty much an amateur when it comes to flint and steel fire starting. but I can usually get it in a few strikes, and I can get a fire going with that. As you can tell, it's not that. It's something about the metal that wasn't throwing sparks, and I'm not sure if it's because it's too hard or not enough carbon or whatever. So you metallurgists out there, let me know down in the comments, and if it's just not the kind of knife I'd want to throw sparks. So yeah, I would be really interested to know if you can have a knife like that that's a decent knife and it would still throw sparks, or if they actually did that sort of thing back in the day. And back to the subject of the tempered raven. Now, I did talk to them, and they are more than willing to take the knife back and replace it with something that is more akin to what I'd like, something that can be used for more rugged survivalist use, like, you know, using a baton on it to make kindling, or to bore holes into wood, or just stab things just to be able to handle it. I'm hard on things, as you can see, and I want it to survive. I don't want to be in the middle of a 7-day event and have a blade break on me because the tip was too thin. Now, that particular knife was purely for slicing. The tip was just too thin and too brittle for the things that I would want it to be used for. So that was purely for cutting meat or leather, or just light crafting around the camp. And for what I wanted it for was something much more rugged, as you can tell. But they definitely are going to go that extra mile to make sure that I'm happy with the blade that I got. And they're a great company. That goes a long way with me, and I hope it goes a long way with you guys too. That they are definitely going to stand by their product and their customer service. So check them out, the Tempered Raven. They're down in the description below. So yeah, and if you do buy from them, let them know that the Bearded Axe sent you. So that's all I got for you, and I'm going to send you home with a be humble, be helpful, and be honorable. Thank you for watching.